Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Rama, Hare Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Papa, 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 Hare Krishna. Oh, the sound. Vision.
Светлого Господа, это вам свет. Видите, воля без света.
Sri-Juta Padakamalam Jasyaika Nishasya Kalamashavalamba Jivanti Loma Vilaja Jagadanda Natha Vishnu Mahanasa Yajasya Kala Visesho Govindamadi Purisam Tamang Najan. So, here, this beginning of spiritual understanding that spirit, the Supreme Spirit cannot be cut into pieces. Nainang chindanti sastrani, nainang dahati pavak. Now try to understand. We are thinking, the modern scientists, they are thinking that there cannot be any life in the sun glow. No, there is life. We get information from Vedic literature that there is life. There are also human beings like us, but they are made of fire. That's all. Because we have got teeny experience that how in the fire a living entity can live. To answer this problem, Krishna says that Nainana dahati pavaka. Why you are sitting there? Come there. Nainana dahati pavaka. The spirit soul cannot be burnt. If it would have been burnt, then according to our Hindu system, we burn the body, then the soul is burnt. Actually, the atheists think like that when the body is burned, everything is finished. Big professors, they think like that. But here Krishna says, nainam dahati pavaka. It is not burned. Otherwise how it exists? Na hannate hannamane sarire. This thing is very clearly stated. The soul does not burn. Neither it can be cut into pieces. Then nachainam kledanti apa. Neither it is moistened. It cannot be wet in touch with water. Now in the material world, we find that anything, however hard it is, just like stone or iron, it can be cut into pieces. There is a separate machine or instrument. It can be cut. Anything can be cut into pieces. And anything can be melted also. It requires a different type of temperature only, but everything can be burnt and melted. And then anything can be moistened, can be wet. But here it is said, na chainam kledanti tapo, na sosayati marut. Neither it can be evaporated. That is eternity. That means any material condition cannot affect the soul. Jasangayam purusha. In the Vedas it is said, this living entity is always without any touch with this material world. It is simply covered. It is not in touch. Just like my body, the present, this body, although it is covered by the fat and the coat, it is not attached. It is not mixed up. The body keeps always separate. Similarly, the soul always keeps separate from this material cover. It is simply on account of various plans and desires that he is making for lording over this material nature. Everyone can see. Every living being is trying to lord it over the material being. That is his disease. He wants to lord it. He is servant, but artificially he wants to become lord. That is the disease. Everyone. Ultimately, when he fails to lord it over the material world, he says, oh, this material world is false. Now I shall become one with the Supreme. Brahma Sattva Jagan Mithya. But because the spirit soul is part and parcel of Krishna, so by nature he is joyful. He is seeking after joy. Every one of us, we are working so hard to find out some pleasure of life. So that pleasure of life cannot be had in the spiritual effulgence. Therefore, in the Srimad Bhagavatam, we get this information. The arujya krichena parang padam, krichena, after undergoing severe austerity and penance, one may merge into the Brahma effulgence. Sajujya mukti, it is called Sajujya mukti. Sajujya, to merge. The arujya krichena parang padam. Even one goes up to that point, to merge into the Brahma existence, after severe austerity and penances, still they fall down. Patanti adha. Adha means again comes into this material world. Arujya krichena parang padang tata patanti adha. Why they fall down? Anadita jusmadang bhaya. They will never agree God is person. They will never. Their teeny brain cannot accommodate that God, the Supreme, can be a person. Because he has experience of the person of himself or others. If God is a person like me and you, then how he can create innumerable universes? Therefore, to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, it requires enough pious activity. The Bhagavad Gita is said, Bahunam Janmanam Ante. After speculating in the impersonal philosophical way, when one is mature, Bahunam Janmanam Ante, Jnanavan, when he is actually wise, so long he cannot understand that the Supreme Absolute Truth is person, Sachidananda Vigraha. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti Sabda. Bhagavan. Vadanti tat tattavidas tattam jad jnanam adhyam. This is a statement in the Srimad Bhagavad. Those who know the absolute truth, they know that Brahma, Paramatma and Bhagavan, they are one. It is different phases of understanding only. Just like if you see one hill from a distant place, you will find impersonal, hazy something, cloud. If you go still forward, then you can see it is something greenish. And if you go actually within the hill, you will see there are so many animals, trees, men. Similarly, those who are trying to understand the Absolute from distant place or far away, they are realizing by speculation impersonal Brahma. Those are still forward, yogis, they can see localized aspects. Dhyanavasthita tadgatena manasa pasyanti yam yogina. They can see dhyanavasthita, localized within himself. This is Paramatma feature. And those who are devotees, they see Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God, eye to eye, one person to another. Nitya nityanam, chetana chetananam.
Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam.
So, actually the ultimate, the last word of the Absolute Truth is person. But unfortunately, those who are muras or less intelligent, avajananti manga mudha, manusim tanvat. Krishna, he may be God, but he has become a person taking the help of Maya. This is Mayavad philosophy. They are studying Maya, they put God also within Maya. This is Mayavad philosophy. But God is not Maya. God is never covered by Maya. Krishna says that Mamevada prabuddhante mayamitam sarantite. Anyone who surrenders unto me, he becomes free from the clutches of Maya. How Krishna can be within Maya? That is not very good philosophy. Simply by surrendering unto Krishna, you become free from Maya. How the person, the Supreme Person, Krishna, can be within Maya? Therefore Krishna says, Ya avajananti manga mudha manusintanuma param bhava vajanan. They do not know how much potential the Lord is, how much powerful He is. They are comparing the power of the Supreme Lord with His own power. The frog philosopher, the Dr. Frog. Frog is considering Atlantic Ocean maybe a little bigger than the well, because he is living always. Kupamandukanna, it is Sanskrit, it is called Kupamandukanna. Kupa means well, and Manduka means the frog. The frog is perpetually within the well. And if somebody informs him that there is another big span of water, Atlantic Ocean, he simply calculates that it may be little more than this well, little more than this well, but he cannot understand how great he is. So God is great, we cannot understand how great He is. That is our fault. We are simply calculating He may be 1 inch greater than me or 1 foot greater than me. That is mental speculation. Therefore, Krishna says, Manasanam sahasreshu kaschid jatati siddha. Out of many millions of men, one may try to make his life successful, understanding the absolute truth. And jatatamopi siddhyana kaschid me vitti tata. So we cannot understand God by our mental speculation. Neither we can understand what is the measurement of the soul. That is not possible. Therefore, we have to take information from the highest authority, Krishna. What is the nature of God? What is the nature of absolute truth? What is the nature of the soul? We have to hear. We have to hear. Therefore, the Vedic literature is called Shruti. You cannot make experiment. That is not possible. But, unfortunately, there is a section of people who think that they can make experiments, they can know the absolute by mental speculation. The Brahma Samhita says, Panthastu koti satavastha sampragamya vayu rathapi manasu muni pungavana sapastija prabhadasi na vichinta tatte govindamadi purisam tamaham bhajami. Panthastu koti vasthara sampragamya. For many millions of years, if you make your progress in the sky to find out God, where is God? Panthastu koti satavastha sampragamya. Vayorathat, not this ordinary plane, but on the plane of air, the velocity of air, or mind. The velocity of mind is very quick. Immediately you are sitting here, your mind can go many millions of miles away if you have got idea. So, either on the plane of mind or by the plane of air, and traveling for many millions of years, you cannot find out. Panthastu koti satavastha sampragamya vayu rathapi manasu munipungavan. Not only ordinary person, but great saintly persons, sages, they also cannot.
Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam.
So, another place, it is said in the Brahma Samhita, Vedesu durlava, adurlava atma bhakto. Vedas, if you simply study Veda, although the ultimate goal of studying Veda is to know Krishna, but if you want to study Vedas by your own speculative process, then he will always remain rare. Vedesu durlava. Adurlava atmavakto. But if you approach a devotee of the Lord, he can deliver. He can take it. Mahiyasang padu rajobhisekam niskincananang navineta java naishang vatistava dudukramang. Prahlad Maharaj said that you cannot have Krishna consciousness. Naishang vatistava dudukramang. Krishna consciousness is not so easy. You cannot have it unless you surrender yourself. Niskincananang mahiyasang padu rajobhisekam niskincananang navinitaja. So long you do not take the dust of the lotus feet of a devotee, niskincananang, who has nothing to do with this material world. He is simply concerned with the service of the Lord. Unless you are in touch with such a person, it is not possible to attain Krishna consciousness. These are the statements of the Shastra. So, Krishna is the supreme absolute truth, and he is person. But we cannot understand him unless we go through a Krishna bhakta. Therefore, to understand Krishna, Krishna has come down as a bhakta, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta. So we have to understand Krishna through Lord Chaitanya, because Krishna himself has come. Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namini. Rupa Goswami, when he met first Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, not first, for the second time. First time he met while he was minister in the government of Nawab Hussain Shah. And then, after meeting, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted them to fulfill his mission. So they decided to resign from the government service and join Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to spread this Krishna consciousness movement. Therefore, when Rupa Goswami met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Allahabad, Prayag, the first verse he composed in this connection, he said, Namo Mahavadannaya Krishna Prema Pradaya. My Lord, you are the most magnificent incarnation. Why? Because you are distributing Krishna Prema. People cannot understand what is Krishna and what to speak of Krishna Prema. But that Krishna Prema you are distributing like anything. Namo Mahavadam. Therefore you are the most magnificent, charitable person. Namo Mahavadannaya. Vadanna means one who is very charitable, gives in charity as much as you like. So, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because people misunderstood Krishna, Krishna asked in the Bhagavad Gita that he surrender unto him. What can he do? He is God, he is Krishna. Then he asks you, orders you, you surrender. I take charge of you. Aham tva sadhuka. But still people misunderstand. Oh, why should I surrender to Krishna? He is also a man like me, maybe a little important, but why should I surrender to him? Because here the material disease is not to surrender. Everyone is bhakta. I am something. This is material disease. Therefore, to become cured from this material disease, you have to surrender. Tad vidhi panipatena pariprasnena sivaya upadakṣanti tad jnanam jnanina tattvadarshana. So, unless you are prepared to surrender, that is a great difficult job for the materialistic person. Nobody wants to surrender. He wants to compete. individually, person to person, family to family, nation to nation. Everyone is trying to become the master. So where is the question of surrendering? There is no question of surrender. This is the disease. Therefore Krishna demands that to cure this rascaldom or must chronic disease is surrender. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam saranam bhaja. If I surrender, then the whole thing will be failure. My business, my plans, my so many things. No, I take charge. I take charge of you. Aham tva sarva pape bhama khoshan. Masusha. Don't be worried. Too much assurance is there. Still you are not prepared to surrender. This is our material. Therefore Krishna came again as a devotee, just to show how to surrender to Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna Varnam Sisa Krishnam Sangapanga Supapa. So, this Krishna consciousness movement is very scientific and authorized. It is not a bogus thing, something manufactured by concoction of the mind. It is authorized. It is based on the Vedic instruction, as Krishna says, Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam saranam braja. So we teach only this philosophy. That is Krishna, here is Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God. You are searching after God. You cannot understand what is God. Here is God, Krishna. His name, His activities, everything is there in the Bhagavad Gita. You accept and surrender unto Him. And as Krishna says, Manvana bhavamad bhakta madhyari namasturu. So we are speaking the same thing as it is stated in the Bhagavad Gita. We don't misinterpret. We don't spoil the whole Bhagavad Gita. We don't do this mischief. Sometimes people, they say, Swamiji, you have done wonderful. What wonderful? I am not a magician. My only credit is I have not spoiled the Bhagavad Gita as presented as it is. Therefore it is successful. Thank you very much.
Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam.
So these are the potencies of God. Not that I can show some magic and immediately I become God. Let's see the magic, real magic of God. Don't accept cheap God. God must show godly magic. Just like we are showing little magic, floating some aeroplane or Sputnik or jet in the sky, you are taking so much credit that scientists are declaring, there is no God, I am God. Because I have made this aeroplane. And what is your aeroplane in comparison to these planets? So intelligent person, they will give more credit to God than to these scientists and philosophers. Because he can see the potencies. How much potency is there? So, he has many potencies. In the Vedic literature we can understand Parasa Shakti Vividaiva Siyate in the Vedas, Upanishad. Nata Sakarjam Karanancha Vidyate. God has nothing to do personally. Nata Sakarjam Karanancha Vidyate. Natasya Sama Odikascha Drishyate. Nobody is found equal to him or greater than him. Nobody. That is God. If somebody is competitor. One god competitor, another god competitor. Just like nowadays it has become a fashion to become god. And there are competition between one god to another. But actually, nobody can compete with God. That is God. Natasya sama. Sama means equal. Adhikasya or greater. That means everyone subordinate. Everyone subordinate. Everyone is lower than God. He may be very powerful, but nobody can be equal or greater than God. That is the basic information. Natasya sama adhikasya dishyati. Don't find. They are also a great saintly person. They are researching that who is the greatest personality. Greatest personality. So by research what? By great saintly person, especially by Lord Brahma, he is the first creature within this universe. So he has found by his spiritual advancement and research work that Krishna is the greatest. Ishara Parama Krishna. He gives his decision. The greatest personality is Krishna. Just like we are sitting so many ladies and gentlemen here, we can analyze who is the greatest here. So, say for arguing, you can accept that you are the greatest. But I am not the greatest. I have got my spiritual master. He has got his spiritual master. He has got his spiritual master. In this way, we go up to Brahma. Brahma is the original spiritual master within this universe, who gave us the Vedic knowledge. He is therefore called forefather, grandfather, Pitama. But he is also not independent. In the Vedanta Sutra, Bhagavad, it is said that Brahma is the first creature. There was any other living entity when he was created first. So, if I say that he also got knowledge from others, then the argument may be who is the next person to give him knowledge. So, therefore Bhagavad says, no, he received knowledge from Krishna. How? From the heart. Tene Brahma Rida. Rida. Because God, Krishna is sitting in everyone's heart. Your heart, my heart, everyone. And he can give you instruction. His name is therefore Chaitya Guru. Chaitya Guru means who gives conscience and knowledge from within. And the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishya. In everyone's heart I am sitting. Hridi, within the heart. Sannivishya, I am sitting there. Sarvasya, not only you and me, even animals, insects, birds, bees, Brahma, everyone. Sarvasya, all living creatures. So, sarvasya chaham hridi sannivishya matta, from me, smriti jnanam apohanancha, remembrance, knowledge and forgetfulness. Forgetfulness also. If you want to forget God, God will give you intelligence that you can forget God forever. He's so kind. Whatever you want, he'll give you intelligence. Do like this.
Mogoče še enega poskusim.
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalam.
This question I asked Professor Kotovsky. I asked him that where is the difference of philosophy between your communist philosophy and our Krishna consciousness philosophy. You have to accept one cheap man, that Lenin or Stalin, and we have also selected one cheap man or God, Krishna. So you are following the dictates of Lenin or Stalin or Molotov or this or that. We are following the philosophy or the instruction of Krishna. So on principle, where is the difference? There is no difference. So the professor could not answer that. You cannot conduct your daily affairs without being dictated by somebody else. That is to be accepted. So that is the law of nature. So nitya nityanam chetanas chetananam. Why don't you accept this supreme authority, this subordinate authority? We have to accept somebody as our leader. It is not possible that we can live without leadership. That is not possible. Is there any party? Is there any school or is there any institution that they are conducting without any chief leader or director? Can you show me any instance throughout the whole world? Is there any instance? No. Just like from our camp, somebody has left, but he has accepted Gausundar or Siddhaswarup Maharaj as chief. The principle is there that you have to accept one chief. But intelligent is that what kind of leadership we shall accept. That is knowledge. We have to accept the servitorship or underhand, to become underhand of some person. So the intelligence is that whom we have to accept, that there lies the intelligence. What kind of leader we shall accept. So our principle is that Krishna should be accepted as the leader. Because Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Matta paratanang nannat kinchijasti dhananjaya. Krishna is the supreme leader. Eko nitya nityanam chetanas chetananam eko jo bahunam vidadat. Leader means he must act like father. Father is the leader of the family. And why father is the leader? Because he earns, he maintains the children, wife, servant and establishment. Therefore, naturally, he is accepted, the leader of the family. Similarly, you accept the President Nixon as the leader of your country because in dangerous time he gives direction, in peace time he gives direction. He is always busy, how to make you happy, how to make you without any care, anxiety. This is duty of the president, otherwise why you select one president? Any man can live without any president. But no, it is required. So similarly, the Vedas says, Nitya Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. There are two sets of living entities. One, both of them are Nitya. Nitya means eternal. And Chetana means living entity. So Nitya Nityanam Chetanas Chetananam. This is the description of God. also a living entity like you and me. He is also a living entity. Just like you see Krishna. What is the difference between Krishna? He has got two hands, you have got two hands. He has got one head, you have got one head. He has got two legs, you have got two legs. You can also keep some cows and play with them, Krishna also. But the difference is there. What is the difference? Eko jo bahunam vidadhati kama. That one Krishna, although he is similar in so many ways with you, similarity. But one difference is that he is maintaining every one of us. And we are being maintained. He is a leader. If Krishna does not supply you food stuff, you cannot have any food stuff. If Krishna does not supply you petrol, then you cannot drive your car. See, eko bahunam jo vidudhatya, whatever necessities of life we have got, we require so many things. That is supplied by eko, that one living entity. That is the difference. We cannot maintain even a small family. Our capacity is so limited. At the present moment especially, in this age, a man does not like to marry because he is unable to maintain even a family, wife and children. He cannot maintain. Even a family consists of 4 or 5 living entities.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Kaj si predvsem? Kaj? Čakaj se boš. Večer si malo bolj odprl. Večer si malo bolj odprl. Zato takrat mečkaš. Ja, kaj mečkaš neki? Mesto, da bi bil odločen, si kar ne moči. Stegni na nogo, stopi dol, stopi. Moraš biti odločen, a vidiš, to pa gre, ko nič. To zraven spada. Da ne boš preveč ponosen. Ja, res. Vi ste zelo prežegli, moraš biti odločen. Ne smeš biti dovoljen. Čist se ono zmehča. Ne? Pride včasih, zdaj da sploh večer. Ja, pa zakaj pa je bilo šlo v redu? Si videl? Da bi pa šlo čist v redu. Ja, zdaj da ja. Ja, čist v redu. Zato se mora biti odločen časih, da donese. Ne smeš, če smeš biti tak odmahljiv. Močno želje hoče. Ampak tudi boš potem nekaj narediti. Veš? To niti ne, če njega zanese, se ne more postaviti. Meni je zadnjič tvoj na pokoju zaneslo, ampak sem se obnovil, sem se obnovil, da ne tebe, jaz ti lahko sami. Ne, verjetno, kako je Krišna zaščito. Jaz mislim, da se bom potovil, in se vam prosto.